And thanks for sticking with us, everybody. The Oneida County Executive, Anthony Picente Jr., is our guest. We're talking about a variety of issues, including where do we stand on nano? Where is that?
Well, you know, the setback from, it's been about a year, almost 2 years now, really hit hard. However, the industry really is at a standstill a little bit. Now, there's some movement, but in other parts of the world. I think the good news about nano is that our competition for a fab, and we're still in discussions with a couple companies that cannot be disclosed at this time because of non-disclosure agreements. But the fact is that our competition is not in the United States. Really, it's abroad. It's in places like Singapore and China and Germany, for example. So those are hard competitions to be in. But the good news on the U.S. side is that we still have the best site in the United States, and that's truth. That's fact. So we're not competing against a Texas or a Florida or a California for the next fab, and the discussions are starting to heat up again as the industry continues to make new strides each and every day and start looking at it. So while I can't put my finger on it, I do believe we are going to see activity there soon.
So you sound optimistic.
I am very optimistic because I really believe that when you have a site like that is so far advanced, and that you also have a commitment of $600 million from the state of New York. You have other tax credits that are available. You have a built-in ecosystem of economics and education. That's going to be our selling point, and always has been. And but for the issues that delayed because AMS didn't build anywhere else. It was something that just didn't come together.
I know you've for many years have been trying to enhance Griffiths to the point where, in many different ways, but on the point of being able to get a airline in here, and thus the new terminal building and other things. Where do we stand with that? Any bites?
It's really hard. It's been a lot harder than I thought. We've done various studies that show that we can handle that. The issue is airlines are funny in terms of that and look for quick ins and outs. And what I mean by that is there's no long-term commitments to be made. So if they come in and if they don't meet those the numbers very quickly, then they're out the door. So it's been kind of hard, and it's still very hard when you have Syracuse so close, even for a single carrier. Now, some of those other single carriers have experienced some problems, so some of that is better left that we weren't going down that path. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. I can't say that it's something that would materialize. I think our benefit at Griffiths is to invest in general aviation, try and get some larger and other charter services directly in there rather than a standalone airline, and focus on UAS because I really think that that's going to be the future of that facility.
And for those who aren't familiar with UAF, that stands for
unmanned aircraft systems, or drones as they've been known.
Now, we took a little bit of a hit there the other day too, didn't we?
Well, it's kind of a hit, but not so much. It doesn't delay us from moving forward. It's kind of a confusing kind of hit when the Department of Transportation denied Griffiths as a site for some Amazon testing and research, and while Amazon's been a partner of ours, and we've been working with them on drone research and development, so it didn't delay us at all. It doesn't stop what we're doing. We just got renewed as a test site for another 5 years, and so we are going strong. And that's an area where, especially in a couple of our hangars, over the next several months, you're going to see some activity that. Creating an indoor test site, working with our partners in Syracuse, and really developing more of a UAS system out of Griffiths, which is going to be used in deliveries, is going to be used in public safety, in emergency situations, in rescues, and in all types of events throughout our area. Drones are going to become a part of everyday life in one way.
Now, speaking of hangars, we're going to have some hangar space available up there now, right?
Yeah, it looks like Premier Aviation, which tried to make a go of it, is going to have to disband.
I was so surprised because they had JetBlue, did they not?
Well, they did, and the ownership of the company was private ownership. That ended up selling some of their plants up in Canada, or some of their facilities in Canada and their operations there, and began downsizing. So that one is something that we're going to have to look and see what to fill in, and whether it is another MRO. I think we got to look at the marketplace and see what we can sustain there. We still have, a big piece of what we do at Griffiths with that has always been the MVCC Aviation School, which, that's a big piece, having that capacity and then the ability of those students to go right to work. So we have to reevaluate and see, what we're going to fill the blanks in with.
The runways at Griffiths are just extraordinary runways.
Outstanding, and then again, we're getting more money for them to continue to maintain them at the high level that they have been, and with new lighting and other amenities. It's 4 feet of concrete. You can land a space shuttle there. Yeah. So we're well positioned for those things.
And speaking of airports, the old Oneida County Airport in Oriskany, that's operated, or is it owned and operated?
Owned and operated by the state of New York now for Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. So
I've not been up there.
They've done a wonderful job. They've done a magnificent job, in that. And if you go to see what the streetscape, the actual. It looks like a movie set, or it looks like a little village when you go in there, in which they do training for all levels across the state and federal government. It's really remarkable.
We've only got 30 seconds left, but what's the next big thing we should be looking at from Oneida County?
Well, we're going to be doing a lot with dairy farming this year. I mean, we've held a dairy summit just a week or so ago to look at milk prices and try to bring that case to Washington and try and help out our dairy farmers, because we have some hard times coming on them.
That was one of the areas that I wanted to get to today, but we're out of time.
We'll follow up.
We need to have you back more often because there's too many questions, so
we will.
We'll get you back soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week, though, and we'll do it all again. Don't forget cnyhomepage.com. Lots of good stuff there. Until next time, take care of yourself, everybody.